should move it over here.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It is Monday. And another episode of Bring It. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, the Big Dog, and we are coming off an insane, incredible, epic, historic NFL football playoff weekend. Just blown away by the energy we had this weekend, the games, all walk-off wins, this crazy stuff. We got, with always, the coaches in the house. Coach, what's up, man?
What's up?
It's good to see you as always. And we have from Cali, we have Mike Young, Mike in the OC in the house. What's up, Mike?
What's up, people?
It's good to have you here. Mike is a Rams fan, so he's definitely a happy
Only
camper
for 50
today.
years.
Only for 50 years. And
well,
and
except years in St. Louis, because those did not count.
No, the St. Louis Rams, definitely those don't count. Unfortunately, they have a Super Bowl ring in St. Louis, so that doesn't count either.
No, those do not count. If you guys want me to go to that, I'll give you the whole story.
No, but we definitely will talk about that game. And you'd figure a game like that would be the first on the agenda, but then Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen said, "Hold my beer," and they put on an incredible show last night. It was exhausting to even watch, let alone I can imagine playing in this game. Just epic, just back and forth. 25 points in the last couple minutes of the game. Game goes to overtime. It was basically one of those team games that the last team with the ball wins the game. And that was the case all weekend, but this game especially. Coach, what did you see in that fourth quarter that allowed it to open up so much? Because it was tight, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter it was basically playing like street football. Just anything went. What did you see on the field last night?
Man, terrible play calling on the defensive end. And just no communication. And I guess that's one of the things that you see even at the Tampa Bay and the Rams game. It was just both sides like the defense was terrible. Because you go back to the last drive, the DB slipped. He was in cover 3. So he should have had the perfect angle. He should have played outside leverage and pushed him inside towards the middle of the safety. But he was inside leverage. The dude did an out and up, and he fell. Mm-hmm. Then you backdoor it. When the Kansas City got the ball back, Tyreek ran a dig. Corner knew he had safety help, so he should have played inside leverage to push him out to the safety. But instead, he played trail technique on the outside and got beat. Then you come back around that. You saw the Kansas City secondary, they was communicating, but he just let it run a sling straight down the middle because he was playing outside leverage. It was just, and then with the 14 seconds, they were in a cover 4 protected sideline, which I don't know why they was in the cover 4 protected sideline when Kansas City had 3 timeouts. They should just play straight up and rush 3.
That made no sense. That was absolutely crazy. The fact that they had timeouts. 13 seconds left, being able to drive the ball down, get in the field goal range. I mean, that's been the talk all day, Mike. We heard it all day on the radio today about how the failure to play the guard the outside, not play the inside, let guys like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce get open. I mean, they were comparing this game to the epic 81 game of San Diego and the Dolphins.
That was a classic.
That was a classic. I mean,
that's a better game.
Why do you think it's a better game?
It's a better
say that. I want to hear why
because they played in the heat and humidity in Miami. And Dog, you probably remember it. I'm thinking, right? You're about or maybe you're a little.
I remember it. Yes.
That was a classic because guys couldn't move on the field. They were exhausted. If you saw the end of that game, Kellen Winslow was literally carried off the field by his Chargers teammates. It was an absolute classic. And what the interesting thing was, next week, the Chargers went to the Cincinnati to play in the Ice Bowl. So They went from 90 plus degrees to under 0. I don't think it's ever been done in NFL history, honestly. That was a classic. This game, to me, where was the defense? I mean, it was embarrassing on both sides. I mean, how did the Bills basically allow just Mahomes to just go down the field? I mean, 13 seconds left, bam, bam, field goal. But even before that, I thought the Bills were ranked highly on defense. What exactly happened there? They might have to fire the defensive coach. I mean, that was a collapse. The Bills won't get over this one. Their fans are despondent. Their fans are saying until we win a Super Bowl, that'll stick with us forever, because that was a horrible collapse by the Bills.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and
you can't lose that game, man.
No, you got to win that. And the Giants are actually interviewing the Bills' offensive coordinator right now, which, you know, if you have weapons like that, of course, you know, you're gonna look good. They already have their GM, so hopefully that'll increase the Giants. But we can talk about that another day. You know, basically, this game to me was just, you know, the youth of the NFL. I mean, Coach Mike, both of us, we've seen how, you know, quarterback battles are going. We can go back to the 80s of Elway and Marino. Then, you know, you go to Manning and Brady, and now we've got this whole new class of quarterbacks. I mean, Mike, it's exciting to see this new young class of quarterbacks. So we're going to see these guys for the next 7 to 10 years.
It's a good one. You know, you talked about the.
Oh, did he freeze up?
I think he did.
Oh no, he had a good point there. All right, well, all right, try it again, Mike. Go ahead.
Frozen in time. 83, you had Marino, you had Elway, you had Ken O'Brien from UC Davis, you had Todd Blackledge from Penn State. By the way, I saw John Elway down in Mazatlan that spring break that year, but he wasn't hanging with me. He was in the cool crowd. I was in not the cool crowd. Yeah. Anyhow, so that was the best draft class ever for quarterbacks, easily, that group, you know. But this group here, I mean, this group, listen, Josh Allen's fantastic. He's definitely going to be a star. He's right there. He's probably like 1A. You know, Patrick Mahomes is still the best, right? This guy is so athletic. He can make all the throws. He's just going to be a force to years. Now you got Josh, right? And then, you know, you got Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. So the AFC's got some good young quarterbacks. The NFC still has the old guard, which are still pretty decent, right? Even though Aaron kind of blew it. You know, with Aaron and Matthew and those kind of guys and Tom. So it's a pretty good class in the AFC right now.
It's going to be exciting to watch, and it's interesting. Coach Mike mentioned about, you know, Mahomes' athletic ability. Out of all the plays he made yesterday, the one sidearm throw that he threw basically underneath the guy's arm. I mean, to have that kind of vision, it's almost like he's playing point guard out there. It's insane to watch, Coach.
Yes. And then, you know what's funny? He's been doing that since he was in high school. Like like he's been doing it, so it's nothing new. Like I said, I coached against him in high school.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh man.
How many yards did he put up?
So you look at him now, picture him like that in high school. It was like, hey, they just sprayed the jersey. He came on, they just sprayed his jersey, and they just ran around. And he like what he's doing right now, still for him and just chugging it up.
Wow.
So
that's incredible. That's incredible. I never knew that. That's a very cool little tidbit there, Coach. I like that. But this game, you know, the back and forth, but, you know, the talk today was obviously about the defense, but if you're Sean McDermott, and this was a big talk all day, you know, but they're talking about not squib kicking it with 13 seconds left to try to, you know, burn the clock a little bit more. I mean, you know, you got to know that you can't give Patrick Mahomes the ball. I mean, even if it's 13 seconds, you still got to know he's got 3 timeouts. You got to give him as little time as possible. I mean, you know, Mike, how does McDermott not make that call of the squib kick?
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but were you guys thinking squib kick right away? I was not until they brought it up later. I'm just thinking kick the ball and hold him. You got 13 seconds, literally.
No.
13 seconds, 11. I mean, come on. If you can't hold him 13 seconds, you don't deserve to win the game. Honestly.
I was thinking
a squibber?
I was like, yes. Only reason I was thinking squib kick because I was like, that's.
Well, let me ask you a question about a squib. How far can a squib go?
It can go to at least to the 30. But it's
but that means he has better field position.
But it's someone that's not used to having the ball in their hands, and they're going to run around. Like the thing about it is, once you squib kick,
more time goes off the clock.
It goes more time, and then the only thing that I would have done different defensively, I would have rushed 3, and I would have pressed Tyreek, and I would have pressed Kelsey, and then said, "Hey, you're going to beat me with somebody else." with still 2 safeties over the
Crazy.
top.
Right. Well, I mean, the squib kick would have saved what, like maybe 3 seconds, would you say, Coach?
So they would have
3
maybe
seconds?
10 at the
10.
30. So I don't know if it would have made a huge difference to me. Knowing Mahomes, he probably still would have got down there. But
what
you know,
it's
that's the
what
thing
it
about
is.
sports. You can always second guess, right? You can always second guess. Like, oh, they should have done this. They should have done that. No one's coaching out there. I mean, Coach, you're a coach, but a lot of us are just watching. It's so easy to second guess decisions. I don't like to do it a lot in sports. It is what it is. That's a decision made. You should have stopped them.
Exactly.
Simple as that. You couldn't stop
Exactly.
them. You lost the game. I mean, what can you say?
Right. Exactly. And the other thing we need to talk about is the overtime rule. Now, this has been huge talk years ago. Four
Yeah.
years ago? New England, Kansas City didn't get the ball
Yeah.
against New England. New England wins, goes to the Super Bowl. That was the last Super Bowl. The Brady won with New England. This year, Kansas City gets their comeuppance and they get the ball. They don't win.
Right.
You know, I'm going to go to you, Coach, because you coached this game. You played this game. I mean, where's your stance on the overtime rule? I mean, you know, I know where I stand, but I want to hear where you stand as a coach and a former player.
I mean, if you're on the wrong end of the stick, you always want your second chance. But it's vice versa. If you had the chance, if you get the ball first, you want to score. I mean, so it's kind of like I'm cool. Honestly, I'm cool. It's been like it is. It's not nothing new. It's just like, hey, defense, let's get a stop. Like just treat like any other time, just get a stop.
Right.
I mean, I've also, I don't know about doing it like the college rule. You get a chance, I get a chance because you talk about professional, and so you only got a certain amount of number of athletes. It's not like college where you got 80 or 90 kids that you can pull from. So I mean, I like it how it is.
It's definitely, you know, but it's been through incarnations as we've seen. You know, Mike, you know, the rule originally was, you know, you kick a field goal, you win. Now they changed it. If a field goal, you get the
Right.
ball. Obviously, a touchdown or a defensive score, you know, wins or loses the game. But is it at the point where the NFL will seriously take a look at this rule, because, you know, it's happened in a number of playoff games, and, you know, they see the fan reaction. They want to keep their fans happy. And, you know, the NFL is a money machine, and the fans fuel that machine. So do you think enough fan pressure?
Listen, these
might
games
make
are
them more
long
deterred?
enough.
Yeah, that's true.
These games are long enough. So what are you going to do? You're going to score one, they come back, score one, then you got to go back and forth and back. I mean, how often, you know, listen, if you can't stop, it goes back to stopping them. If you can't stop a touchdown, I don't think you deserve to win the game. I'm sorry. Stop the ball. And by the way, Coach, you talked about the college roll. That's the best. I say go to that 25-yard line. You got to go 4 downs. No field goals, right? You just got to get it in, let's say. And if you get it in, you go for 2. So it's 6 or 8, and that game will end quick, right? So let's say they don't score, the next team doesn't, it goes back and forth. I think that'd be exciting. Maybe you want to push it back to the 30. Wouldn't that be exciting? Could you imagine that? Mahomes on the 25, Josh on the 25. Why not?
No, I agree
Why
with
not?
you.
Why do we have to be so traditional? Mix up
Nah,
this game that's been going on for 100 years.
I agree with you. I think when you get to that, it's
The NFL's scared. They don't want to do it.
you got to, yeah,
They're
it's
conservative.
it's the injury, it's the hours. If you raise your roster instead of the 56, you go like 65.
Yeah.
Or maybe then I kind of say, hey, let's do that. That's the one thing about it is, and then you don't want to get a chance to get Josh. If you get Josh hurt or Patrick Mahomes hurt, ooh, money.
No, exactly. And it all
I
comes
say
down
keep
to
the rule
money.
the same. I say
And
keep it the same.
the owners are not going to expand the rosters because it's going to cost them more money. We know how much the owners in this league
No, of
like their
course
money, so they're definitely
Yeah.
not giving it up. So Kansas City moves on. Let's talk about the early game yesterday. The Rams in Tampa was a blowout, 27-3, and Tom Brady said, "Nah, I got this. We're okay. I got this." Basically, Mike, I can only imagine what you were going through in the second half, so I'm going to give the floor to you. And you guys won, but just tell me about your emotions. The first half, the second half, what it was like watching this as a long-standing Rams fan. Oh, did he freeze up again? Oh, no. That's what he looked like. He was so just in shock the
I
entire
think we
game.
froze on.
All right, I think we're good, Mike.
I
We
almost
good
had-
now?
That was good. Did you, Dog? Was that a special effects thing there?
Yes, exactly.
I was stunned once again. And I'm gonna tell you, the Rams in their history have had some odd games. They've had some
Mhm.
crazy games. They had 1977 at the Coliseum, the Mud Bowl. No one could hold the ball. It never rains in Southern California. It rained. Pat Hayden not grip the ball. We lost 14-7 to the Vikings. We went down to Minnesota in 76. 99-yard return on a blocked field goal. What the heck? All these weird things. This one yesterday in the Saints game, this game was absolutely bizarre. The Rams were the better team, clearly the better team. It wasn't even close. Offense, defense, we bottled them up. The Tampa Bay was falling apart with their unsportsmanlike penalties, just god awful. And all of a sudden, at the end of the first half, we couldn't score. Akers fumble. I got turned on my center. Here we go again. What are we doing? We could have got 27-3. 27-6 late. Akers fumble. Cooper Kupp fumble. What about the crazy possession, guys? I've never seen it before. Von Miller, who's been great, strip sack Brady. The next play, snap over Stafford's head. I've never seen that in a playoff game. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was sick. And then they go in, another Akers fumble. And then, of course, you got the Brady to Evans touchdown, which, by the way, Jalen Ramsey has really been burned in the last few years he's playing. And then, of course, you have the touchdown by Fournette. But at that time, it's interesting. When they tied it up, guys, everybody's going crazy. My son's walking around. He's 24. He's Rams fan. And I go, we still got 45 seconds. And I said to him, we got to win the game now. If we don't win the game now, we're going to lose because Brady's going to get the ball and score a touchdown. Guaranteed. We will lose in overtime, most likely. What does he do? Cooper Kupp, who to me is the MVP of the league. He's that great. One of the greatest years in playoff hit in football history. And then the Buccaneers blitz. They don't send everybody, thankfully. Horrible defensive call. Absolutely horrible. Probably should cost Bulls. Who's the defensive Bulls? Whoever the defensive is.
Yeah.
And I was just like a 10-year-old big dog. And we kicked the field goal. We're going back to SoFi. It was absolutely dramatic beyond belief. But Brady didn't do it. We gave big dog. The reason Brady was in a position because the Rams handed the ball to him. It's not like Brady did anything incredible. When you're starting at the 25, it's not like he let him down 80 yards 4 times in a row. A great throw, but the Rams almost handed the game to Tampa Bay after dominating them.
No, definitely. It was fun to watch. It was hard to watch. I have to say, in general, the
It's horrible.
Tampa did not really have. No. I'm for you it was horrible because you're a Rams fan.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, it's hard.
I was sweating.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That game started at noon your time, so you're like, all right, I'm up. Let's start the day, watch some football, and
it's beautiful weather. It's great. I had a little bagel. We're watching. It's going good. All of a sudden, it's collapsing right before my eyes. It would have been worse losses in my history as watching sports. Number one, 86 Game 5 ALCS, the Angels of the Red Sox, maybe the greatest baseball game ever. That's the one loss I'll never get over. This would have been up there. Honestly, this would have been up there. It would have been horrible to deal with.
In Los Angeles, Laura. Now, Coach, I know you're a Tampa guy. Coach is Tampa is a Buccaneers fan.
Oh, Coach likes Tampa.
Yeah, but now the talk yesterday was obviously Brady didn't have his full artillery. He had what's his name? 14, number 14. He's hurt. He had there was injuries, so he wasn't at his full capacity. But in general, they didn't have a real sustained drive all game. They got the ball because of turnovers in LA territory, able to make plays. The only decent play he made was the long bomb that he threw to Evans that beat Jalen Ramsey. And I have to say, I was impressed with Brady being able to throw the ball that far at 44 years old. That was impressive. So, Coach, what did you see on Tampa's side of the ball that made him get down so much and obviously come back because of the turnovers? But what did you see?
Man, defensively, it was just lack of communication, especially in the secondary. Like with basically both of Kupp's bombs, it was just miscommunication. They were first one when he scored the touchdown, they was in the cover 2, and the safety never got over the top. Brady, I think he in a way he was panicked because of the protection. I think out of all, it wasn't really the skill guys. Like I said it earlier, it's not the skill guys that would be missed. It was the right tackle. If the right tackle was there, then now you'd be all right because you can kind of spy on Donald. But when you had a rotating of tackles coming in, then the left tackle was getting whooped, so we couldn't help on that side. That's what really killed them. But they got smart. Finally, it was crazy. They waited till the fourth quarter to get smart and have the tight end either Brate or Gronkowski chip block for a minute, make him run wide, and give him that help instead of doing that little power move on our tackles. When they just power drive our tackles in the backfield.
Did Gronk catch a ball yesterday? I don't even remember him catching a ball.
He caught like two, but that's like I said, that's
they held him in check.
They were doing all. He was just blocking. He was helping with the block. But other than that, I mean, I think, like I said, I think Brady just kind of rushed it. He still had an opportunity to run the ball, at least run the ball to make the D line respect it and not just rush, because they just start teeing off because they was like, "Oh, you're down by 21. We know you're gonna throw the ball."
Right.
So,
I thought the Ram defense played well. Honestly, Coach, yeah. I really thought the Rams defense has been good.
No, but I
they
think
are coming on now with Vaughn, Floyd, Aaron, secondary. They're good. They're much better than they were earlier in the year.
The only issue is, here's the issue, and I know we'll probably talk about it later about them playing against the 49ers.
Yeah.
The thing about it is they rely on their pass rush. The secondary is kind of suspect. Like you said, Jalen Ramsey is suspect. The safeties, you got Weddle that came out. Weddle's been playing pretty good. But I just really, I don't know what happened at the beginning. We was out of sync. It was arguing.
It's Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
But it was just like even the defense was out of sync. Like the first touchdown, they were in man. The linebacker went and chased Stafford instead of just staying with the tight end. Like it was just dumb. We just made dumb mistakes, and I mean, and defensive play calling. That last play, I don't know why he said the corner blitz on their best receiver. I never understood that. You put Winfield on their best receiver one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. No, it was definitely.
Well, let's be honest.
It was
if the Rams didn't turn the ball over 4 times, it would have been a rout. I mean, fumble 4 times. I mean, if they didn't turn that ball over 4 times, they would have won by 14 or 21 points.
Oh,
I mean, the game, they were dominating the game. They just turned the ball over.
Yeah,
stupid.
But
that's what you guys stripped it. But
that's what y'all do. Huh? That's what you do. Yeah, I did it.
Not as bad as last game.
Yeah, we were what? It was up 17-0 against the 49ers, and they came back. Like,
yeah, that wasn't. We just collapsed there. It wasn't really turnovers. We just, the 40. Oh God, do we have to get into that game later? Those guys give me the willies.
Yeah,
I hate those guys.
We will definitely get in. I know the Niners the third time. It's gonna be crazy.
Unbelievable.
Before we move on from this game, I want to talk about the 2 quarterbacks. I'm gonna go to you, Mike. Wow. You've been a suffering Rams fan since probably what the mid to late 60s, the Roman Gabriel years, I'm guessing, right?
I wouldn't say suffering. That's pretty good years, Big Dog. They won 6 divisions in a row in the 70s. They just couldn't win the Super Bowl. Something always happened in the playoffs, but yeah, since Roman, of course, Ron Jaworski, James Harris,
Pat Hayden, Vince Ferragamo.
Ferragamo, who, by the way, lives down the street from me in Orange County.
Wow.
He almost sold our house, by the way. He's a realtor now. There's a lot of Rams around here, actually. I knew a lot of Rams growing up and everything.
And then you had to deal with the Jim Everett years, of course.
Jim Everett, saw a lot of those games at the Big A. I saw Jim Everett's first game at the Big A in '86. Saw Jim come in. You want to hear a weird story real quick about that? If I could say real quick?
Sure.
Check this out. I swear this is true. Okay. And I just mentioned before, the Angels played Game 6, 85, that classic ALCS where Donnie Moore gave up a home run, right? Mm-hmm. That was an Angel Stadium, right? Of course, they lost the game, lost the series. All right. A few weeks later, the Rams played the Patriots. And the game ended on an Irving Fryer touchdown, right? From Steve Grogan, right where Henderson hit the homer over the fence at the Big A. I turned to my friend and I go, I think that was the same spot where Hendu just hit that homer against us and killed us in the world. Same exact spot, I swear to God, Big Dog.
So did those bleachers moved in order for the Rams to the football field to move out?
Yeah, they kind of move it around. Left field was an end zone at the Big A back in the day because that's when they enclosed the stadium. They enclosed it for the Rams, and the Rams moved there in '80. And yeah, it was wild. So I saw his first game there. Jim had some good years, and Eric Dickerson was fantastic. One of the best runners I've ever seen. So, but so anyhow, now we got Stafford. Jared, listen, I like Jared. He just wasn't consistent enough. He won some big games for us. He got to the Super. Let's say he won some NFC title game. He beat Dallas. He beat Seattle. But Stafford, I don't want to hear anything else. Everybody keeps saying he hasn't won the big one. First of all, he's on a horrible team for years. I mean, we're not talking about he was on the Patriots. He was on Detroit Lions, one of the worst teams, organizations. The guy came here. He's actually, I mean, even up to now, up to yesterday, he's like second league in touchdowns and yards. He had a couple bad games, but I don't want to hear he hasn't won a big game. He just won 2 playoff games, and he beat the greatest player probably ever yesterday. So let's just put that to bed. He was fantastic yesterday. He was absolutely fantastic. Made all the throws. Everything was great.
Right. Okay. So now, as we all know, and I don't know, I think Coach is having some technical issues. So as we all know, the Rams basically pushed all their chips in. They're in.
Yes.
They're all in. They made the trades. They're all in. Stafford, OBJ, Von Miller. They're in. They're in. This is the year. So obviously, if they don't come out with a chip this year, you would say that the year is a failure. But as far as Matt Stafford getting over the hump of playoff wins, he's got 2 playoff wins going into SoFi, playing at home next week, possibly playing at home for a Super Bowl. I mean, is the point is that the Rams season basically they don't win, it's not a success? Is that the attitude in LA right now? Oh, he froze up again. Darn.
I would say if they fall short of the Super Bowl, then it wouldn't be a success.
Okay.
I'm going to say that. For Matthew, to me, he beat Brady. I'm not going to say it's going to be a bad season if he doesn't win next week. I mean, he won big play.
He froze up again. But I see the point he was making. He won these 2 big playoff games, and he definitely has proven himself worthy. So now, Coach, let's go to you real quick about Brady. Brady yesterday at the press conference didn't say anything about next year. There's a little buzz whether he might walk away. So what do you think?
Freeze. I hope the Rams this week.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach. What do you think about what's Brady going to do next year? What are your feelings right at this point?
I don't know. Usually I'd be like, oh, he's coming back. I honestly think he might have one more year because his oldest is like 14, so he's probably in the 8th or 9th grade, about to start high school. Because if you really look at it, and we talked about it yesterday on the touchdown crew, what does he have to prove? Like in Michigan, he was competing. When he was with the Patriots, it was, hey, I'm gonna show you the best. I'm the best. That y'all regret having me. That was his fight. Then it was when he went to Tampa the first year. It was like, hey, I'm gonna show you I could do it without Bill. And this one was just pretty much like, hey, I'm just trying to give me a back to back. Like the only thing I would have thought he would have done if they would have won is he come back next year and say, hey, I want to see if I can get a 3-peat. But now it's like, what do you need it for? You got a clothing line, you got the TB12, your kids are getting older. Like you got money for your kids can have. So it's like, what is it now? And I think that's the thing that we have to realize. He doesn't have nothing to compete against. He has nothing to fight for because everybody says, hey, you are the greatest of all time. And we're tired of seeing you there.
No, that's a good point. And plus, next year Tampa's got the re-signing guys. They got a lot more contract issues for next season than they did for this coming season. So he might say, what kind of team are we going to have next year? If he doesn't have the kind of team that he wants to stick around for, exactly. What does he have to prove? Does he want to risk getting hurt? He's 44. Yeah, he's in the most amazing shape any 44-year-old athlete's ever been in. I mean, it's going to be interesting. And I don't see him going to another team like Brett Favre did all of a sudden on another team. No. I think if he walks away, he walks away.
No, this is it. It's interesting, guys. When he walked off the field yesterday, he almost seemed kind of like acceptance. When the game was over, he just kind of walked up, hugged a few Rams, kind of smiled. Almost like this could be it. Like, you won a game, you guys beat me. I got my Super Bowl, like Coach said last year. What's he have left? And another year older, another chance to get hurt. I don't know if you guys listen. He's on Mad Dog every Monday, 3 or 6 o'clock your time, 3 o'clock my time, with Jim Gray. And he talked today, and he said, I got a lot to think about. I like being home with my kids, all that kind of stuff. Oh, so it could go either way, I think, with him.
He did say that in his interview today.
He definitely did not commit. Yeah, he didn't come on today. Yeah, he did not commit.
And then you got to understand the sacrifices, like avocado ice cream.
Yeah,
eat this. I don't do this. Getting up, working out. Like that's tiring. He's been doing it for so long. I just feel like he doesn't have the motive anymore. There's no drive. If we would have beat the Rams, he played in the Super Bowl. He went to the Super Bowl. Now is let me do
Right.
3. Let me get 3. Now it's kind of like okay.
He got his one there. He can't be greedy, right? That's the thing.
Yeah,
He got his one in
it's kinda-
Tampa. If he didn't win last year, I could see him, but nothing left to prove, really, like you say. So we'll have to keep an eye on this.
Exactly. It's going to be a definitely interesting offseason talk. All right, we're going to take a short break.
But he had a
We'll
great
be
year
right
too, though.
No, he definitely did. He definitely did, Mike. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Tony's going to join us, and we're going to talk about the collapse that is Aaron Rodgers and his karma. All right, we'll be right back right after this.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. On sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
All right, we are back, and we have Tony in the house. Tony, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm great, man. How are you, Joel?
Good. It's good to see you. It's been a minute. Thanks for jumping in. You want to jump in on the Aaron Rodgers brigade today?
I've been waiting all weekend. I got so much ammunition. I'm so ready.
All right. We're gonna get to you in 1 second. I just want to talk about not only are we on like YouTube and Roku and Twitch and Twitter and all those places, we are also on a new channel called Tiki Live. Go check out tikilive.com. We have our own channel there. We have programming over there as well. So check that out. We have ASAP Plus, another side network of ours. So we're all good with that. And so I'll check out all our avenues. All right. So Saturday. So Packers, 49ers. Packers go up 7-0. You're thinking, all right, this is going to be a little breeze. And then nothing. The 49ers don't score anything until the block punt, score a touchdown. They block a field goal. Packers special teams are all over the place. They tie it up. Then they go down, drive down, score, win at the end. Once again, Aaron Rodgers' playoff prowess is done. So, Tony, what do you got for me as far as Aaron Rodgers stuff today?
All honesty, Saturday was kind of the perfect epitome of who Aaron Rodgers is. Like that epitomized who he was. Aaron Rodgers is a great regular season quarterback. But postseason he can't do it. I don't know why. Ever since that one Super Bowl, he's never been able to repeat since. And here's the issue that I have with a lot of Packers fans like Freddie, that try to tell me that he doesn't have a franchise. He doesn't have an organization that supports him. Y'all weren't saying that when he's gone. He's won 13 games every year for the last 3 years. His head coach finally hit double-digit losses in the regular season because of the 17th game. They went 13-3 every year and now 13-4. You went to the NFC Championship 2 years in a row. The first time, okay, you got a new head coach. You spent a ton of money on defense. You got Devontae Adams. You got Aaron Rodgers, 3 running backs. You got Aaron Jones. You had Williams. You had A.J. Dillon. You had all this talent for Rodgers. They come up short the first time. Okay, that's fine. First year, little bit of rust. They'll shake it off. They'll come back next year. Next year, you have the opportunity. All you got to do, it's 3rd and short. Run it. Go for it. Why not? Don't go by what the coach tells you to do. You have been the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers for the last 15 years. You mean to tell me you can't sit there and make an audible? No, absolutely not. And then this year, you turn around, same thing. You still got a lot of money invested into the defense. They went and got the Smiths, Za'Darius and Preston. They've drafted well on defense. They got Jair Alexander. They got Kevin King. Again, you still have your running game. Offensive line, a little bit shaky. You still have one of the best wide receivers in the game in Devontae Adams, and yet you still can't do it. I'm tired of hearing that Aaron Rodgers is elite. Aaron Rodgers is not elite. He's not. As much as I don't like Tom Brady, Tom Brady has done more with less. Tom Brady has never had a number 1 wide receiver until he went to Tampa Bay. I mean, he had Randy Moss, but they got demolished in the Super Bowl. He took a bottom 30, it's either 30, 31st, or 32nd defense to the Super Bowl to lose to the Giants. Managed to do that. Aaron Rodgers has top-tier money spent in a defense. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game, and above average O-line. And you're going to sit here and tell me the franchise doesn't put anything around him? Absolutely not. Aaron Rodgers just cannot do anything in the postseason, and that's fine. He's a Matt Ryan. Regular season, he will get you 13, 14 wins. He'll sweep your division. You'll win a division crown. You're going to go to the playoffs. Now, anything deeper than the NFC Championship? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Strong take, Tony. Coach, you were laughing through half of that. I want to hear your rebuttal or your reply to that.
Oh no, I agree with him. I've been saying that for the longest and got crucified. Like everybody was talking about Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl 3rd round. I was like, he's gonna lose. They're gonna lose in the 2nd round. Regardless, it's all about the matchup. The only team that they face they can actually play against is the Rams. Is the Rams. That's
right.
The only team for the simple fact of the matter because of what they like to do. But I said it. I've always thought Aaron Rodgers he's a good quarterback, but he's not at the elite status, especially in the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, to me, when you say elite, it's what you do in the playoffs to me. Because some of the regular season games could be, man, the numbers could be all kind of ways. But, if you go back and look at that game, the receivers didn't drop balls in the game. They were just bad throws. And a lot of it was just from Aaron Rodgers' throws. Like, he made some terrible throws and terrible reads. It was more so that weather. It was 0 degrees. Because when you older, you can't handle that cold when you do when you're younger. So,
well, there was talk today that he targeted Mercedes Lewis fumble. He stopped targeting Mercedes Lewis. He threw the ball one time to Scanling. That was it. He basically most of his targets were to Devontae Adams and to Aaron Jones. Obviously, A.J. Dillon getting hurt definitely hurt the offensive scheme. But, we've seen Aaron win games without all his top guys. Early in the season, he played Arizona. All his top guys were out with COVID, and he went in, moved the ball around, and won. Yes, it was a warmer climate. I understand that. Yes, it wasn't 0 degrees. It wasn't snowing. But Aaron's played in that weather before. I've never been a big Aaron Rodgers guy. Mike, your friend and our friend Adam Shine has always been a huge Aaron Rodgers. He waves the flag for Aaron Rodgers. And today he finally, got to church and realized his boy isn't as good as he thought he was, right?
This is the worst loss of his career. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. They're at home. Are you telling me they're at home against a 49er team that's banged up, been on the road previous 2 games, comes into the frozen tundra, and Aaron looked absolutely awful for the most part. The team, I don't know what they were doing out there. The first drive, they scored a touchdown. After that, nothing. I'm going to give the Niners a lot of credit because these guys they're just feisty, they're durable, they're tough. But listen, you guys know, certain sports, you're measured by your championships. You're a quarterback in football and great NBA players. You're measured by your titles. Baseball, not so much. Greats are greats. But in certain sports, it's your titles. He's got 1. They had a stat up today, Big Dog, about they were comparing the Niners, the Steve Young, Joe Montana era, Aaron Rodgers era, how many times they competed in championship games and Super Bowls. It's not even close. He's been now 3 straight times. Here it is. He's lost 3 straight years in the playoffs, right? 2 divisionals and 1 title game, 2 are at home, and he's come up short. This is the worst loss of his career. I think he's out of Green Bay too, by the way. I don't think he's going to stay around. I don't think they want. I think it's done. This is their chance. They blew it. It's time to move on. I see him going to Denver.
He can't leave.
Why?
Why can't he leave, Coach?
Why can't he leave?
He's still on the contract.
Well, they'll trade him. I don't think he wants to be. I barely thought. Wait, I thought he only had 1 year. He's under contract after this year. I thought they signed him for the 1. No, he's free agent.
He's under 2. He has an option to be traded this year.
Yes.
And knowing Green Bay, because you're going to have to ask a lot for Aaron Rodgers. Again, you're going to go to the playoffs with him. Now, you're not going to go far in the playoffs, but you're going to get to the playoffs with him. And again, what team is going to be willing to give up that much other than a team maybe like the Rams that are going to be like, we're going to go all in on this player to potentially compete for a ring. I don't see many teams being
We got a
willing
better
to have
quarterback
that
in
much
Stafford.
to
We
do
don't
that.
need him.
Oh no, we're just saying like
No,
the Rams.
comparison to the Rams, like the
I
Rams
know,
went
of
all in on
course.
Stafford. No, I don't see another team doing that because you got to look at Denver. Green Bay's going to be like, okay, we want a receiver and we want at least an O lineman and we
Send
want
it.
a first round and probably another
Send
first
it.
round or a second round.
Denver's built on John Elway's, Peyton Manning's. I know Denver fans. They want him. Send them over. We'll take our chances. So they're not winning what they have now. They're awful.
All right,
They're
but
8-8, whatever it is.
Let's say he goes to Denver. He's in a conference with Mahomes,
He won't-
with Herbert, with
Don't
Carr,
forget where the fiance
yeah.
lives out that way too.
Yeah, but
Always
still.
about the all right, guys. Always about the family too. The fiance. I've seen a lot of guys over there. Mark Teixeira, right? He came out here with the Angels. Who wouldn't want to play out here? Sunshine, whatever. The wife said, "No, I want to go back to Baltimore. Send me back east. Get me out of Southern California. I hate it." Huh?
But
You hate it? Are you high?
Go ahead, Coach. What were you gonna say?
everybody keeps saying, well, he'll go to Denver. He don't want to go to the AFC because all the quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Exactly.
And then you're going in there. You're in there with Patrick Mahomes. You got to play Patrick Mahomes twice. Carr, at least you got to give Carr his credit. Get at least one good tough game. Then you got to Justin Herbert. Herbert. So like your six games is not a cakewalk.
Yeah, you're going into probably the toughest division in the AFC at least.
Especially with quarterbacks.
Where do you see him wanting to go if not Denver? Let's say he wants to go. Where do you see a good fit? Let's see if he can make the trade.
There's been talk about him maybe coming to New York, but as a Giant fan, I don't want him. I want if they're going to trade for anybody, take those 2 first rounders and give me Russell Wilson any day of the week.
Yeah,
over him. He's not going to go to the NFC West.
You know what? Honestly, I don't care. The guy's probably the most disliked athlete in sports, honestly. I mean, the dude is he's so dismissive of everybody. He's not that smart. He thinks he's smart. I've had enough of him. I don't care where he goes. I just don't want to see him anywhere near Los Angeles.
He could go to Washington. I mean, Washington has the cap space. They need a quarterback. They have a decent O-line. They have a potential defense and a good head coach. Now he's only got one receiver again. He's only got Terry McLaurin, but
right.
Or you can say the Panthers. They got 2 receivers in Carolina.
Yeah, watch them after all this is stay.
Miami. Miami's also a viable spot if they're not sold on Tua.
How about this? How about retire? What about that? He's fed up. He's made enough money.
Well, Ken Jennings has a Jeopardy gig now.
Jeopardy's still looking for a host.
That's Ken Jennings' gig now. I want Ken Jennings.
Is that permanent now? Is that permanent?
I hope so because he's.
I don't think so, big dog. You better check. You better check your entertainment section.
I'll have to check that. I'll check my TV guide on that one. That'll be interesting. Let's go to the other side to the Niners because the Niners are making noise. The Niners have this old school just run it up the gut. A Deebo Samuel, this slashing kind of offense. I mean, Coach. I always like to go to you for these coaching observations because you see things that we don't. What are you seeing on San Francisco's offensive side of the ball that's making this team so successful, even with a Garoppolo who is mediocre at best, managing the game? Obviously, he didn't turn the ball over on Saturday. But what are you seeing on San Francisco's side of the ball that's just making them be so scary and like being able to just play like this?
Shanahan, he's putting them in a position. Like he knows what Garoppolo can do, and he's not asking him to do no more than what he can do. Like, so that's one thing about it. And he's gonna live with the run. No matter what, he's gonna run the football because he relies on his defense and special teams. He feels like that my defense is gonna keep me in games, keep it close, and they're gonna get stops. Mm-hmm. And I know Garoppolo's gonna make 3 or 4 plays. Got to give him credit for that. He's gonna make 3 or 4 plays. It ain't gonna be. It's gonna be ugly, but he knows Garoppolo's gonna go down. He's gonna have his 3 or 4 plays, and I think that's the thing that they're gonna live by. We're gonna play defense. We're gonna run the ball, and we're just gonna try to choke you out and put pressure on you.
Exactly. So Mike, as a
Choke
Rams
you out.
fan,
I like that. That's what they did. The Rams. They do choke you out. That's a great term.
that is.
Yeah,
And
big dog.
they're gonna talk about them coming into LA this week again.
Amazing.
Third time playing them. You know.
Oh no, okay. First of all, I mean, the reason they're there is because the Rams has bid it against them, right? They got in the playoffs. So for those teams in Green Bay and Dallas, they're mad at the Rams because the Niners got in. I can't believe we're back again for round 3. Now there's actually precedence here. 1990 NFC title game where the Rams and the Niners, where Jim Everett absolutely spit the bit. We lost that game. So here's the rematch. But it's like Coach said, they are just tenacious. They are physical. They're tough. Deebo Samuel's amazing. The Rams' problem is they haven't kept up physically with this group in 6 tries. Now, the last game, great first half, screwed up at the end of the first half when Stafford went back, got sacked, got down. They got 3. Then it was, the gate was open. They started scoring left or right. Our defense was terrible right at the end of the game. So, but the games that, I thought the games were blowouts the last 6. Actually, only one was a blowout. The other 5 were close to the Niners. So it's not like the Niners have this blew us out, but 6 in a row, this needs to stop now. If we don't win this game, I'm going to tell the Rams, petition Goodell, get out of the NFC West because we can never beat them. McVay can't beat Shanahan. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, you talked about Coach. He's a good coach. He's very good. I think McVay's a good coach. So I don't know what's happening here. It's a mental thing, but they got to beat him this time. I mean, come on. We're due, are we not? I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. And Niner fans, you're not coming because Kroenke said you have to have an LA zip code to buy a ticket. Good for him. I need an advantage. I don't care if it looks bad because that was horrible last time. We need everybody there. I'm not going because I'm not going to spend $1,000. But, that was funny, I thought, today. Put that out there. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild.
It will be. And I saw that statement today. And I remember when they played Arizona 2 weeks ago, how loud it was in that stadium. How loud
You know what, Dog? They've had good, people that have gone to the games this year, and I've known a lot, they've had good Ram crowds. Actually, you hear, the Ram, whatever. No, there's been good support here. That game, I don't know what happened. A lot of Niner fans live in Southern California now. Silicon Valley money came out. I don't know what happened. The Rams are guaranteed the playoffs. Maybe no one felt a big deal, but the Niners had to win. Whatever it was ugly. It didn't look good. I hated it. I heard from everybody on Mad Dog Sports Radio. My Twitter friends are yelling at me. What do I have to do? I don't control the team. I don't know what's going on. So hopefully this time it'll be a better Rams crowd. Andrew Whitworth's wife's putting out texts. Don't sell your tickets. Come on. Let's get there. So I'm hoping this will be more blue and gold in the crowd than red. I hope.
Yes, definitely. All right, I want to turn to the last game, which was the first game of the day, the Cincinnati-Tennessee game. Tony, you're in Ohio. You're in Dayton. I know you're in Dayton. What's been the buzz in Ohio? Obviously, I mean, I don't know if in Dayton if that's a Bengals fan base in Dayton whatsoever. But what's been the buzz in Ohio? Them coming off going to their first championship game since 1988, I want to say. I think
88,
it was.
Right?
Yeah. 1988.
1988.
They went 81 and 88.
Right. So what's been the buzz?
Dayton is a unique little military town because of you got Ohio State, which is your big one, and then you've got a mixture of either Cincinnati or Cleveland. Typically, it's majority more Browns fans than there are Bengals fans. I will say here though, and even kind of being here, Bengals fans are just excited at the fact that this is happening. I mean, you have to think about it. You take a kid in Joe Burrow. He, you guys go 4-11-1 the previous year, and he ends his season in just a horrific leg injury. And then he comes back. They spend a little bit of money on the defense, a tiny bit on the offense, but they got him his favorite weapon from LSU and Jamar Chase. And that's pretty much all she wrote. So really, they're kind of writing one of those just Cinderella stories right now that, pretty much anything at this point is a success for Cincinnati Bengals fans. The fact that they're even in the AFC Championship, which, to be honest, I don't know about y'all, but when I first looked at the schedule and looked at all the teams, I was like, okay, Cincinnati is probably going to be vying with Pittsburgh for that 3rd or 4th spot, at least in the AFC North. Didn't expect them to win the division, and the fact that they've just come out and done it is kind of incredible. Like I said, here in Ohio, they're ecstatic. The fact that the Bengals are doing as well as they are, they never expected it. So anything that they do at this point is pretty much a good season. And part of me not just because I live here in Ohio, but part of me kind of wants to see the Bengals continue to go on because I feel like that would just kind of solidify Joe Burrow, because we know Joe Burrow is going to be one of those quarterbacks that's going to be, battling it out, duking it out for a good long time. And for a team like Cincinnati that, again, they're not typically a really well-run franchise or organization. They've never historically spent a lot of money in free agency. They don't usually make a lot of big trades or big plays as far as, the market or even in the draft. So to me, I kind of want to see Cincinnati move on. If they win, cool. If they don't, is what it is. But for me, I think Cincinnati Bengals fans are just happy that they're relevant. And I think, all honesty, this is going to be a team that they may not roll through the AFC, but they're going to be difficult to have to deal with in the future.
Oh, definitely, Coach. How does anyone, let alone Cincinnati, stop or contain Kansas City? I mean, what do they have to do? What do they have the tools to do it? Even containment. Obviously, they beat them in the regular season. So they have that on there. Obviously, the game was in Cincinnati. They've beaten them, but now playoffs, whole different kind of game. The refs aren't blowing as many whistles as we noticed this past weekend. Not a lot of penalties called this past weekend. What do they have to do, Coach, to contain or beat Kansas City?
You got to rush 4. You got to make sure your 4 gets to Pat Mahomes. And the thing about it is you gotta rush smart. Like you can't go upfield, because all they're gonna do is step up in the pocket and run around. Mm-hmm. If you keep Pat Mahomes in the pocket, they have a chance. If you let Pat Mahomes run around and do whatever, then they're gonna be in trouble. Because if you saw it against the Bills, they rushed the 4, but he got a way to get out. He rushed the first drive, I want to say 40 yards.
Right.
And then he scored. He had a rushing touchdown. Like, that's the thing about it is with Pat Mahomes, you got to keep him in the pocket. You got to make Pat Mahomes check you down. You can't let him get that mid to deep. If you give him that, wrap it up. It's gonna be a long time.
It's gonna be a long day. Exactly. So Mike, just a quick take on Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Tennessee, as we've seen, Tennessee, but once again, comes to the playoffs, blow it. Tannehill's not a big-time quarterback. Vrabel almost acts like Belichick a little bit, thinks he knows everything, and once again gets out-coached, outplayed. But, I mean, how special is this Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection? I mean, they have no fear because they've been in big games before. It's ridiculous.
Well, listen, first of all, I got to ask Tony, thank you for Mick Cronin sending him to UCLA. Thank you, because I'm a huge Bruins fan. And secondly, you're wearing the Michigan State jacket. You're in Ohio. How are you getting away with that, my friend?
I'm stationed here by federal mandate through the military, so that's.
I love it. Irvin Magic Johnson, baby, my favorite player of all time. All right, so back to. I'm sorry, Dog knows he has to be on. I'm all over the place. Here's the deal, though, with Cincinnati. I can't believe the Bengals have never won a playoff game on the road. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess so, right? That's amazing to me. That's incredible. I'm happy for that team, for that franchise, that fan base, because I remember that 81 team and all that kind of stuff, and then the white cheers and Boomer. It's cool to see. I don't think they're going to be Kansas City. I think it ends here. I really do, but you never know. And you got a hell of a franchise quarterback. You got a great receiver. You got a great running back. You got my boy Zach over there, the Sean McVay coaching tree in full effect, right? Oh, by the way, Sean McVay's 36 today, guys. 36. They hired him when he was 30 with the Rams. That's pretty crazy. You think about it. And so it's going to be, I hope they can keep it up, but it's really icing on the cake at this point, right? If they don't win, it's a good season. It's a great season. All the pressure's on the Chiefs.
Exactly.
So we'll see what they do. Good luck. Let's see a Rams-Bengals Super Bowl. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be crazy. A Rams-Bengals Super Bowl. I mean, if we see Bengals-Niners, it's a repeat of those 2 other Super Bowls that the Bengals were in.
82,
so,
Pontiac Silverdome.
Exactly, and then the game in Miami.
Yeah, you're right. That's funny.
Where Joe Montana's pointing, "Hey, that's John Candy," in the crowd. That kind of thing.
That's a classic story.
It is crazy. All right, so even though predictions mean nothing, but they're always fun to do. So we've got a week. So Mike, you're our special guest today. I know where you're going to lean on the NFC side, but so give us your official Mike and the OC bring it show Super Bowl prediction.
Guys, you remember the Rams Chiefs a couple of years ago over at the Coliseum, that crazy game when Mahomes came in? It was one of the best Monday night games ever. One of the greatest games ever. Let's see this again. Except now we're at SoFi. Now we got Stafford. I'm thinking Rams Chiefs. I'm thinking Rams Chiefs, and I'm talking if it's Rams Chiefs, huge ratings. That'll be something they can market so big. So many stars on both sides. SoFi, the halftime show I'm already psyched for. It'd be exciting. If it's Bengals Niners, yeah, you could do the repeat thing. I don't know, but Rams Chiefs would be the marquee game.
Rams Chiefs. All right, Coach.
Oh, I'm going with the Chiefs. I told that East Texas boy Pat Mahomes. I rode with him since day one. We're gonna keep on riding with him.
And come on, Coach.
I gotta go 49.
Help me out.
Ah!
Oh no, Coach! I sent you a box of cigars. Send it back to me.
Hey, here's why. Here's why I say the 49ers. One thing about it is the 49ers can actually rush just 4. I think they lead the league in pressure with just 4 guys. When you can just rush 4 and they play in the zone, that kind of stalemates Kupp a lot, because Kupp is good with the double moves, but he's not good with just running straight routes and reading zones. So I like that.
He's been incredible this year.
Yes, he's been great. No, he's been really great.
Yeah.
So, but when you can rush 4 like them, because you can look at it from the D tackle, it's really more so up the middle, because now Stafford has to step up in the pocket, and he's not a runner. And now if he gets to the point to where he's looking at the secondary, looking at the front instead of the secondary, I think they have a chance. And again, if you flip it to the other side, one thing about the 49ers, they don't really throw the ball that much. It's 16, 17 times. So they just pounding. I don't like Von Miller against that. I can't even think of the other DN. What's the other guy? He came from Chicago.
Linebacker?
What'd you say, Tony?
Roquan Smith?
Yeah. No, not Roquan Smith. The DN. The opposite. Linebacker. I think he played like outside linebacker.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Not
but I know who
Leonard.
you're talking about.
Not Floyd.
Yeah,
Leonard Floyd. Yeah, my bad.
Leonard
I don't know why I thought
Floyd?
Roquan Smith. Leonard Floyd, yeah.
So, and I say that because they're small. So against the team that they're gonna run the ball, they're gonna jet sweep you. We're gonna mix it up with Debo and do all that plus the screens. Now that pass rush is not gonna be as violent when Jimmy got to throw the football. Unlike when they played against Tampa, it was for a fact Tom Brady gonna throw this ball 40 times.
Interesting.
Now Debo was limping off last game. I'm hoping Debo's still limping a bit.
No,
he was limping off the field.
Hey,
cold.
When it's 0 degrees and you out there basically running on concrete, oh, he's fine.
Someone put a dome on that Lambeau field. It's getting ridiculous. Enough of
that. 0 degrees out. Don't worry. He's
I know, Coach. We'll see him. I'll be miserable.
All right, Tony. Who do you got?
I got Rams Chiefs as well. And I say that because we talk about Aaron Rodgers' legacy kind of being trashed at this point. Matthew Stafford is really trying to save his, because you got to think about it. Stuck in Detroit for all those years, all the years of heartbreak, never really got a chance to succeed, never had a true team built around him.
Right.
Now he comes to Los Angeles. His first playoff game, he dominates in a great fashion against the Cardinals. He comes back, very next week, even though his team tried to fumble it away from him. He comes back, he beats Tom Brady at home, in Tom Brady's stadium, and now, potentially has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So for me, I think this is a big thing. This is a big statement for Matt Stafford. This is going to be a lot of those. I'm going to prove the doubters wrong. They traded for me for a reason. My talent was being wasted in Detroit. I'm going to show that I am an elite quarterback, and you guys have to worry about me because I'm now with an actual contending team.
All right, so we got so Tony and Mike agree with that. All right, my prediction. We're going to end with this because we're running out of time. Yep. It's funny. It's like, as a Giants fan, I've always been faithful to my team, but I've always been faithful to people I know and friends I know and teams I support. So, Mike, I'm jumping on the Rams bandwagon for you this week. I'm rooting for you guys. I want to see you guys stay at SoFi and play in that Super Bowl in a couple weeks.
Okay.
And I got to give a shout out to my boy Jai. Jai's been on the show. Jai's
Yeah,
the
our boy
biggest
Jai, my friend.
the Cincinnati Bengal fan I know, and I think it would be great to see the young guns of Burrow and Jamar Chase playing in that Super Bowl. I think it'd be a great story. You got the young gun who's been to if you can double up, win a NCAA championship and a Super Bowl championship against Stafford, who's trying to get the complete monkey off his back and break forth from the Detroit rebuilding since 1952 curse. So that's I think I like to see Cincinnati and the Rams playing the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, we have run out of town, boys. But this has been incredible fun. Mike, thank you for joining us this week. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, dog. Fun guys, Coach,
awesome,
Tony, good fun.
Yeah, Tony, always good to see you. And Coach, I love all your insight you bring. Stay tuned for Real Talk. We got Real Talk coming up next. Great shows all week on the network, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information.